Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode for the Coaching Conversations podcast. Now, we are on Stitcher, we are on iTunes, and multiple different channels. Please check us out. Now, one of the things that you'll get out of our podcast episodes is a lot of content, a lot of strategy. It's not fluff, it's not concept, yet we really want you to engage with the content and let us know your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there's topics you'd love to have us address, we would love to share them with you. Let us know your impact and let us know your feedback.
So what is a coaching nudge? Recently we just redid our version of something called spot coaching. So there are three types of coaching: situational coaching, when a situation is brought to our attention, like a project or employee knocking on the boss's door. And then observational coaching, which is very prevalent in the retail space, where you can't really have formal coaching in front of customers, right? And so when you think about coaching being observational, we tend to be triggered by what? Positive things or things we want to correct or fix. It's usually things we want to correct or fix. So with that being said, what that really does for us is it leads into this thing called continuous coaching, which is, really the foundation of what we teach here at Progress Coaching. But I have to tell you, I've fallen in love with spot coaching, and it's a form of a coaching nudge. When I coach boys volleyball, every year, I didn't care how good my team was. And my friend Chris Decker at Aurora, the CEO, would send me stuff, and he still does to this day, videos from Nick Saban. And I was always an Alabama football fan. But what Saban would do, and people always said he was so intense, they'd be up 65-0 against Troy State. And people are like, why are you so intense? There's 2 minutes. Why don't you smile? And he goes, because the process is completion. The process is I owe it to the guys who are third and fourth string. I am not going to let down my intensity because it'll come off like I don't care. And he talks a lot about process. I think there's a process that goes on in our workplace. I think the process can be positive, neutral, or negative. When you think about workplace cultures, there's a process that led to that. The conversations that have been had, the conversations that have been allowed. Yet we don't really proactively think about getting up in the morning and saying, honey, I got to get in early. I want to prep for today and make it a great day for my employees. That typically doesn't happen universally at companies with all leaders. I'm sure some people do. And so what coaching nudges are is nudging. You are nudging people forward. It could be a note on the desk. It could be a card sent home. Recently, I just sent 2 books to clients saying, thank you for everything. They had provided me some referrals, sent them a couple books. You would have thought I built a Mount Rushmore. It's just a book through Amazon, but it's the gestures. We can help people feel great. Because you know what? During the day, they get a call from home. They get a call from a friend. Their boss might call them into the office and maybe something went sideways. There are things that we react to during the day that just don't make us feel great. But what if we as leaders, what if we as teammates were proactively looking for creative ways to nudge people forward? Now, I often share this concept of Change Hill. Change Hill is steep, it's muddy, and when it rains, it gets sloppy, and people will slide back to the bottom of the mountain while they're climbing it. And they will inevitably make a decision. Do I even want to try and go back up that hill again? That's where we need to grab our hand, put it in the small part of their back, and nudge them back up that hill. I know it's a little cliche, yet the fact of the matter is coaching nudges work. Now, for 30-some years, I've been coaching volleyball. I don't care how good my teams are. And I remember, and I still remember, because I still talk to the dad. The dad came up to me once. He goes, how can you not get angry? They're playing terrible. Why aren't you yelling at them? And I said, well, first of all, they're not my kids. I don't have a kid in the program. Number 2, we will get there. There's a process. And I know if I get upset, they get upset. See, emotion triggers the same emotion. So when I get mad at you and yell at you, does it calm you down? Yet if I'm calm, doesn't it give you a perspective of, yeah, maybe I ought to be calmer? So the fact of the matter is that we have to be proactively thinking about fueling people's minds, fueling their brain, fueling their emotional state. Think about this just fundamentally. If you had a boss who called you into the office, put a note on your desk, sent a book home, called you back into the office at the end of the week, and his or her boss is in there with you, and the boss only praises you, how are you feeling right now hearing that? I'm pretty sure it didn't depress you. Probably got you feeling pretty good. Coaching nudges are powerful. So when I think about our course, Spot Coaching, we literally teach in our course 3-to-1 ratio. Go look, schedule time, go look for the good stuff, and literally create tally marks on a sheet of paper by each employee's name that's on your team of the number of positive nudges you gave versus constructive. And recently I just had a manager come back and say, yeah, everyone's wondering what's going on. Our numbers are up, our metrics are up, our KPIs are up. And I remember somebody asked me, what are you doing with that team? I mean, they're doing amazing. I go, they're just being positive. That's really kind of it. Now, we're getting into the formal parts of continuous coaching because nudges last so long. They last maybe an hour or two, maybe a day. If I give someone a handwritten note, 364 days later, they don't remember that note. Boy, they remember how I made them feel week by week. So what are you going to do to nudge your people forward?
Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21 day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.